Hi everybody, it's Mena. Welcome back to my channel, or if this is the very first video that you're seeing of me, then welcome to my channel. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you didn't already. I post every day except for Tuesday and Friday afternoons sometimes. And today in this video, and I'm terribly sorry for the noise. There's a train outside. I don't live near a train station, but I can hear the train station far from my house. So I apologize if that was a little loud. It's kind of noisy. It's just the train, so there's nothing I can do about it. So anyway, today in this video, I'm going to talk about my top 5 yarn shopping pet peeves. So these are my personal pet peeves when it comes to yarn shopping, or when I'm going to buy yarn when I need it. And this is a video just to let you guys know my personal pet peeves when it comes to yarn shopping. We all go shopping for yarn, and we all have different pet peeves about yarn shopping, is having to go look for the yarn at a certain store, not being able to find it, not being able to find the fiber we want, or not being able to find the type of yarn we want. So it just happens, but we all have to deal with it. And it's not that big of a deal. If you can't find the type of fiber you want, you can always go shopping more online, because you'll be able to find the type of fiber of yarn you want. So I'm gonna get started, and I hope you guys like this video. Number 1 on my list would have to be the store not having the yarn I want. This used to happen to me a lot, and my mom used to not like this either. It's like when I couldn't remember which store I got the color of yarn I want from, and it drives me crazy when I can't find a certain color that I want, or they don't have the color I want. I know it's not that big of a deal because you can always buy the yarn online, but sometimes online does cost more because you got to pay for shipping and stuff. But it just happens. So sometimes when you go to a certain yarn store, you have to find, you want a certain type of yarn. Let's say you want Lion Brand Touch of Alpaca, and Michael's doesn't have Touch of Alpaca. Let's say you want Woolies Thick and Quick, and Joann's or Michael's or Hobby Lobby don't carry Woolies Thick and Quick right now. Then you have to buy it online. I mean, I know it's not that big of a deal because online is easier because you can get it shipped to your house in case you don't have access to Michael's, or you can shop online on michaels.com because they may only have it online. But it just drives me crazy. Before I started shopping online for yarn, I would like going to the stores to get the yarn because it would be easier for me at the time, because I didn't really use Amazon that much at the time like I do now. And my mom and I would yarn color. My mom would be going, which store did you get it at? And I'm like, I don't remember. And she used to get so annoyed with that because then we'd have to go from store to store to figure out what store we got the yarn from. And it was very annoying because then we'd have to go to so many different stores just to find the yarn that I want. Number 2 on my list would have to be this store not having the color of yarn that I want. So this happened before too, where my mom would get so annoyed when I couldn't remember which store I got the yarn from, because we would be going to either Michael's or Joann's, and I could never remember which store we would get it from. So then we would have to figure out where we got it and everything. So I know back and forth, Michael's would carry a certain yarn color I would want, and sometimes they didn't have the yarn color I wanted, or if I ran out of yarn and I needed that color, they didn't have it, because at the time I wasn't always shopping on Amazon as much, and because I didn't have a credit card, and I was only going to stores because I didn't shop online. I wasn't much of an online shopper at that time. So I would have to figure out which store I would get it from, because then my mom didn't have to drive me back and forth to Joann's or Michael's to figure out which store, go all over the place to figure out which store we got it from. Number 3 on my list would have to be the employees not being helpful. So this has happened like once when I was at Michael's. I think I was shopping at Michael's one time, and this employee wasn't too helpful to me or my mom. I was yarn shopping, and my mom needed something, or was it one of us needed something at Michael's, and we were shopping, and this one employee didn't know anything about a certain item that we wanted, and he was like, "I'm sorry, I don't know, blah, 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 blah." And I don't know why he didn't get another employee to come to help us. He just said he didn't know. I guess maybe he was the only one on the floor, and he wasn't very helpful, which kind of like made us a little irritated, because we had a question, but he couldn't get a hold of anybody because I think the rest of the employees were on their lunch break or something. And that's one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to going shopping, is employees not being helpful, whether I'm shopping for clothes, shopping for shoes, or shopping anywhere. It's just one of my personal pet peeves when it comes to shopping. Shopping at a certain store, yarn store, or Michael's or Joann's, and the employees don't know anything, and they can't get a hold of somebody to help. And I've only had that like once. Most of the employees at Michael's and Joann's are super helpful, but I think just that one time, I think there was only one employee, because I think maybe he was the only one on the shift at the time, or something. I don't know, but there weren't many employees in the store one time, and everyone else was probably on their lunch break, and this one employee didn't know a certain answer, and my mom and I weren't too happy about that. Number 4 on my list would have to be the store not having a huge yarn selection. So I never shop for yarn at Walmart. I know Walmart's a lot cheaper, but I never shop for yarn at Walmart at all, just because Walmart doesn't have a lot of selections of yarn. Like, they don't have like a big selection of yarn like Michael's, Joann's, or Hobby Lobby do. And I understand they're like a big department store, and they're supposed to have room for other things. And I never really shop at Walmart anymore for yarn, just because they don't have a lot of the yarn that I need. So anytime I need a certain yarn, I usually just go to Michael's. So it's just much easier for me, and Michael's or Joann's or Hobby Lobby, because they just have a better selection of yarn for me for knitting, and they have a lot of different fibers, which I like. Number 5 on my list would have to be not being able to see the aisle numbers. So this is one of my biggest pet peeves, is when I'm shopping for yarn and I can't see the number aisle. This is only just because I usually will forget my glasses, so this is just my fault in general, because I'll forget my glasses sometimes, and I can't see the number aisle, and I'll have to ask an employee to help me with the numbers and read them to me, because I can't tell what numbers they are because I don't have my glasses and stuff. And it really bothers me when I'm trying to find the correct aisle and I have to kind of go in circles, which is really annoying. And it also takes my shopping time a lot longer, and it just really drives me crazy, because I want to get this done and I don't want to like keep other people waiting, or I want to get this done so I don't have to do it later. And it just drives me crazy when I don't have my glasses and I can't see the aisle and I have to get someone to help me. So those are my top 5 yarn shopping pet peeves. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I post every day except for Tuesday and Friday afternoon sometimes. And I'll see you in another video soon. Bye! Number 5, not number 5, I mean